Hey, what's up, fellow Hoosiers? Great to be back here with you. Another edition of Indiana Football Live here as we come to you on the Indiana Football X account, or if you're with us on the IU Athletics YouTube account, we appreciate you being here with us and remind you that you can interact with us if you're watching via the YouTube stream. We can get to your questions and comments. But my name is Rhett Lewis. Great to be back here. As we get set for a big-time weekend in Bloomington. It is homecoming weekend, and the Hoosiers are back in action on Saturday, noon Eastern, getting ready to kick off the second half of the season, and it is vital. Matchup against Rutgers this week. Big-time opportunity to start the second half of the season off on the right foot. And we're going to get into all of that here for you, give you all the details about the game. Towards the end of the show, give you some of the Rutgers players to look out for here in this matchup. It's a good Rutgers team. It's a good, tough Rutgers team. We're going to talk about that here in just a little bit. Reminder that we'll get to your questions in comments throughout the show here. So if you want to submit those via the YouTube channel, you can certainly do that. And we'll get to some of those. And this is all going to be available for you on demand on iuhoosiers.com, on the X account with Indiana Football, and then also on the YouTube page. So appreciate everybody joining here today, and we'll get this thing rolling here. And as we do each and every week, we get an opportunity to chat with one of the Hoosier players. And a great opportunity this week to talk to a guy who's made a big-time impact in a short amount of time. Let's welcome to the program first-year Hoosier, Jacob Mangum Ferrar is with us. What's up, Jacob, man? How you doing?
I'm doing well. I'm actually having dinner with some of my linebackers right now. I just stepped away.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Well, I hate to tear you away from that, but certainly appreciate you
good.
giving us a few minutes of your time, man. And I love that camaraderie, right? I mean, that's, just to hit on that, that's like, that's why we play the game, right? I mean, obviously you play the game to win and to represent your school and your community and your family and all that. But man, those moments that you have with your teammates, that's the stuff you can't recreate, and that's the stuff that matters. Give me a sense of what that kind of stuff means to you.
Yeah. So coming from Stanford, I never honestly thought I would transfer. I enjoyed my time there, and I had, some of the best relationships, lifelong relationships. And the group of guys that I was surrounded with there were amazing. The linebacker room there was such a family. I really didn't think that I would find that again. And, coming here, being around Ace and a bunch of the other young guys in the linebacker room, they just, they welcomed me with open arms, and it was, it's been really nice to have another group of guys that is like family to me.
Man, that's super cool. Love hearing that. Not surprised in the least, though, to be honest, and getting to know some of these players the last couple of years, and Ace in particular, man, what a stud. We'll get to him in just a little bit, but a bit more on your journey. Obviously, you end up at Stanford and a big contributor for the Cardinal football program under Coach David Shaw. And then obviously you had the coaching transition, and we're fortunate enough to bring you here to Indiana. A little bit, give us a little bit of the genesis of your relationship with this coaching staff and how it was able to kind of mesh together for you to end up here in Bloomington.
Yeah. So, I mean, what sold me really was just the realness and the how genuine everything felt on my visit. There were a bunch of connections. It felt like also, I forget his name. Coach, the safeties coach that was here before is actually married
Jason
to
Jones. Yeah,
Coach Jones. He's married to my cousin. And then
that is crazy.
The receivers coach that was here actually coached my linebacker coach in high school.
No way.
They were at McNeese together. Yeah.
Coach Henry. Yeah.
Yeah. Coach Henry. Yeah. And then my strength coach from Stanford, he got the job here, or a assistant strength coach job. So it was just like, man, there's just a ton of, congruency.
I like that. I feel like that's a nice Stanford word right there. The congruency. No, that's good. But look, you come with a couple of your former teammates too, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Nick Toomer and Bradley Archer. And I mean, like, look, the three of you guys have made a big time impact.
Right.
I think some of your guys are hanging out behind you here. But no, I see them. That's all right. There they are. Is that Ace back there?
Yeah.
What's he doing? What's up, Ace? How we doing, fellas? What's up, Matt? How you guys doing, man? Yeah, that is super cool, man. It's clear you guys are a pretty tight group. But what was it like? Was it better, easier for you to have that transition, knowing you had a couple of guys that you had some familiar faces with?
It definitely made it easier.
Yeah.
I mean, I was the first one out of the trio
Right.
to get here, and I don't think I wasn't. It wasn't a hard transition at all
Yeah.
because of the team. They welcomed me
Yeah.
pretty well, but uh, I think having the other guys come a little bit later, it was like okay, it makes it that much more sweeter.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, it was a good time.
Might have
Yeah,
might have helped you or might have helped them as well in their transition to have you already here and with boots on the ground.
right.
Look, let's get into where we're at, here in the season. Look, no hiding the fact that it's been a tough couple of weeks, right? Really going
Right.
back to the kind of the unsatisfying feeling, even in a win over Akron, Maryland bye week, Michigan now getting set here for Rutgers. How would you kind of describe the mood of this team as you try to kind of really embark on a big time second half of the season here?
Yeah, I mean, week to week, we know we play great opponents. The Big Ten is a great conference, and I mean, each week we treat it as a 1 week season. So, we're trying to dominate whoever, you know, comes in our schedule. So, I mean, we're ambitious.
Yeah.
We also know we got to get some things fixed. So, I think we're definitely our heads are definitely in a good place. We're not down on ourselves because we're halfway in. We still have everything we want or ahead of us. So we're just
Yeah.
trying to take advantage of that and not dwell on the past.
Has that kind of been the message from Coach Allen and Coach Wilt, your linebackers coach, and the rest of the staff as you try to kind of understand that despite some of the the hardships over the last couple of weeks, like everything's still out there here.
Right.
It's like the push to get to the postseason is still very much out there as you open the door in the second half of the season.
Yeah, that's definitely been a reoccurring theme. Um, is taking care of business and taking advantage of what is possible,
Yeah.
and not or really just more so expanding on our potential as a team because it's so high.
Yeah.
We just have to fire on all cylinders for 4 quarters because I think at multiple points in the season we've shown that we can keep up with the best of them. You know, it's just about that consistency and our. So each week we have a word, and this week it's
Yeah.
consistency, and I think it's so what's the word appropriate
Yeah.
for
No doubt.
for
No
us.
doubt. I think that's a great point. I mean, you go back, that Ohio State game, you guys played tough on the defensive side of the ball. I mean, second half of Louisville, obviously all of Indiana State for the most part. And then, you could definitely pick spots in each of the last couple of games where there's stuff to build on there. And I know that's obviously the key here to build on the things you've done well and to try to, kind of correct the things that have gone wrong. So, and then just for you, like, how do you feel like this defense in particular kind of accentuates your skill set as a linebacker?
I feel like this defense allows linebackers to play pretty free.
Yeah.
Um, I'm, in comparison to Stanford, I was man on the tight end a lot, and we played a lot of man
Yeah.
in general. And here it's a little bit more zone concepts, which allows the linebackers to play off the quarterback's eyes and things like that. So just allows it's a little bit less thinking, a little bit more doing,
Yeah.
which I like.
Yeah, no question. And look, one of the areas that in particular that I feel like I've seen you excel is when you get to bring some pressure from the second level and, in a blitz situation, adding pressure. I mean, we saw it in that Ohio State game. I mean, that tomahawk chop on Kyle McCord was still should have been the fumble, right? I mean, still should have
Man,
been.
so many people were sending me screenshots or replays in slow motion. I'm like, oh
Come
man,
on.
they
Yeah.
they gave it.
Took one from you.
I got robbed. It's all
I
right
know.
though.
I'm with you. That's all right. Yeah, more of those to come for sure. Look, I know you got your buddies out there with you, and we'll get you out on the road here in just a second. But we touched on Aaron Casey, and obviously one of the tackling leaders in the Big Ten this year, one of the best linebackers in the Big Ten, and you guys together feel like you formed such a good tandem here on a second level of this defense. And obviously, with Matt and Josh and Jared, you've got a great group there. But what's it been like for you to spend so much time with Ace in game situations?
It's been good. It's been good. I think when I first got here, it's always a challenge to build like that chemistry um, on the field, and I think we did a good job of hanging out outside of football, which made, playing together that much easier.
Yeah.
But no, it's been great. It's been great. The communication has been high, and we kind of know each other's, like reminders or whatever. I feel like. So it's been good. Yeah.
That's awesome. Lastly here, and we'll get you out of here on this one with Rutgers coming in. This is a team that obviously wants to be tougher than everybody they play, right? This is a team that wants to be more physical than everybody they play. It showed, the way that they operate on offense, the way they want to run the football, right? The way that they want to excel in the fourth quarter. Kyle Manungai, leading rusher in the Big Ten right now. What kind of challenge does that present to you? And is that something as a linebacker you're like, I'm into this. I want that kind of challenge from the opponent, and I want to show that I'm up to it and I can exceed it.
Right. I feel like it's the best opportunity because there's not a lot of, their offense isn't super
exotic.
Yeah. They're not trying to mess with your head a whole lot. It's like, we're telling you what we're going to do. It's like, man, it doesn't get better than that. It's my will against his will.
Yeah.
So, that's the best situation, I feel like.
Well, I'm taking Jacob Manga, Ferrar, and Aaron Casey in that battle each and every day, each and every game day, if that's the case, man. Well, I certainly appreciate you giving us a few minutes of your time here. I want to get you back to your dinner. Say what's up to Ace and the fellas for us, okay?
Will do. Thank you.
All right, Jacob Manga, Ferrar here with us on this Week 8 edition of Indiana Football Live as we get set for this homecoming matchup with Rutgers. And look, it's going to be a great weekend in Bloomington. Obviously, a little bit of rain in the forecast here today and tomorrow, but getting set for a clear day on Saturday. And obviously, Hoosier Hysteria coming your way on Friday. I'm going to get to MC that. So just kind of adding to the atmosphere and the environment that we're going to see at Memorial Stadium at The Rock on Saturday, and just hope that positive momentum, that those good vibes continue rolling through as we get into Saturday at noon. And look, it's going to be a challenge, and Rutgers is a much improved football team. I think they're really improved as we get to some of the players that you need to know. Looking forward to this matchup here, and I'll kind of scroll some of those here for you on the bottom. We'll start on the offensive side of the ball, since that's kind of where we left the conversation with Jacob. Kyle Manungai leads the Big Ten Conference in rushing right now with the way that he's been able to kind of step in as a lead back. Samuel Brown was kind of the guy in last year's matchup against Rutgers for IU that found some success, went over 100 yards, but he also got hurt in that game and was lost for the season, and then still just hasn't gotten back into his role or his niche just yet. But I imagine that we'll see him here in this game for Rutgers. But Manungai, no question, is the bell cow for Rutgers. And they get plenty of run game from the next guy on the list, too, in Gavin Wimsett, the quarterback. And look, he's a talented kid. He's one of the highest recruited quarterbacks that Rutgers has had in recent years, and got a lot of respect for the athleticism and in the way in which he's played this year. But I do feel like it presents an opportunity for Indiana's defense. If they can find a way to limit the run game, right? Find a way to limit Manungai. And look, Rutgers will be stubborn with it. They will be committed to it in the run game. They're not just going to abandon it. So, this will be a 4-quarter fight in the run game. But if you can force Rutgers to have to push the ball down the field, if they're in a situation where they are behind, right, and Indiana is able to jump out to a lead, I feel like that's an opportunity for this defense to get back to what they love doing, and that's forcing turnovers, right? That's takeaways on the defensive side of the ball, because as talented as Wimsett is, there's definitely been a propensity, to put the ball in risk at times. And that's something that IU wants to influence in a big way in this game. So those two guys, definitely some pieces to watch on offense. Johnny Langan, a tight end, another one not listed there on the bottom of your screen scrolling, but still a big piece of what they do. Former quarterback a couple of years ago. He's been at Rutgers for a long time now, and is a real nice weapon for him at the tight end spot. Look, on defense, this is a really, really good, physical, tough group. I think the embodiment of who they are on defense starts with Aaron Lewis at defensive end. Saw it last year. Dude is an absolute stud. Talking about over 100% motor all the time, and a talented kid as well. So he can get it done off the edge in pressuring the quarterback. And then Tyreen Powell, excuse me, is their leading tackler, on the second level, a real athletic guy, big physical player. Definitely gets his nose in the run game and can make some plays in the pass game too. And then Max Melton is one of the best corners in the conference. His brother Bo Melton is a receiver, and Max is a really fast and physical and really talented corner that'll definitely pose a challenge. But I feel like this is a great opportunity for Indiana. Indiana has the players and the scheme and the mindset here at this point to find a way to get this done. And this is such a pivotal game. Obviously, as you try to shut the door on those first 6 games and on these last couple of weeks, and really try to find some positive momentum here heading into this second half of the season, is a real opportunity. And that'll start with whichever decision Coach Allen and the offensive coaching staff decides to make at the quarterback spot. Got to get some decisive, competent, and efficient play from start to finish at that position. And there have been times when both of those guys, Taven Jackson and Brendan Sorsby, have shown that. And it's just a matter of figuring that out more consistently and more often in the landscape of a 60-minute game. Definitely have that. Have the playmakers on the outside. Have the playmakers at running back. Hopefully able to get Josh Henderson back into the mix. But we've seen some really good stuff from Christian Turner and Trent Howland, even as of late, to complement Jalen Lucas and what he can do. And obviously we know this offensive line has definitely been improved from a year ago, and they got to continue that trend line. On defense, look, it's about getting back to what we saw those first couple of games where the ball was getting turned over, right? And they were finding the takeaways. Philip Dunham was the playmaker at the back end, picking off passes, left and right, it felt like. And it's about time for that first fumble to go IU's way. And just haven't been able to haven't been fortunate enough to jump on one of those just yet, but that's coming too. So those things that, takeaways, tackling, fanatical effort, all that DNA of this defense, I think comes out to play in a big way, in a big time moment for Indiana against this Rutgers team. So that's definitely a big piece of this thing, and really looking forward to it. So I'm going to have the call with my buddy Don Fisher, the legend, up in the booth at Memorial Stadium. We get started at 11 a.m. Eastern time on the IU Radio Network. Wherever you end up listening to IU, you can do it on the Varsity app from Learfield. You can also check it out on SiriusXM, as you see bottom of your screen there, channel 195. But great opportunity, to show up, to pack the rock. And if you're not able to get there, to listen, to watch to watch this game at noon on Saturday and to support, these guys that are really trying to make an impact in this final 6 games. And this is definitely the first step of that. So certainly looking forward to it, and certainly appreciate everybody being along for the ride here. It's going to be a great weekend in Bloomington. Can't wait to get back and to get around this team and to call an IU win on Saturday. Going to be a lot of fun. Appreciate everybody for joining us. Reminder that we are back with you on Monday following this game, with another interview with one of the Indiana coaches on this staff, as hopefully we're talking about a win under the hood with IU football, as is presented by your local Central Indiana Ford dealer. And we have a lot of fun there, get a chance to talk about what we saw from the week that was, look ahead to the week coming up, and just talk about the journeys of some of these coaches. Really get a chance to learn a lot about these guys that have such an impact on these young men's lives that play for IU. So hope you'll join us for that. That is 7 p.m. Comes your way 7 p.m. Eastern time on IUHoosiers.com. And great opportunity to get a bit more connected with this team. Still a lot of football left to be played, and it starts this Saturday at The Rock. Hope to see you all there. Go Hoosiers, everybody. Thanks for being with us today.